Okay, so today our objective will be going to continue our unit testing. And last couple of classes, we know the basic about our unit testing, like how we are using the JUnit 5 to write the test cases, right?
Right,
So we have covered the JUnit 5, right? JUnit 5 is the version name, right?
right,
So that means what the JUnit 5 means. Let's see in our software, in my applications, whatever I written the classes, maybe class 1, class 2, and each class have some business logic method, right? Business logic method.
right,
So this method generally previously we are testing from the somewhere main method, right? Now we are not going to test from individual classes, individual all the classes in main method. Instead, say hi. Instead of those lines of code you're writing that really not able to deliver to the customer. That is, the customer is not interested to increase your code size unnecessarily writing the main method, right? Main method for testing all the methods, all the input. So as per the framework say, hey, JUnit framework say you can write all your test code in a separate module like a test folder, right? In the test folder you write the test cases for this class, you write a separate test cases for this class, right? And whatever the method 1, method 2 you test here, method 1 properly working, method 2 properly working, like similarly for this test classes, write a separate test class, right? And run this method is working properly and not this method working, or the different input, different output, right? All the possible positive scenario, negative scenario, corner cases, each and everything you can write the test case, right?
right,
So as of now, we are good, and look, lots of example, and highly recommendation for whatever whenever you are going to write in the JUnit, please follow the official documentation of the JUnit, right? Like
right,
just type JUnit, this is the user guide, just click here, and whatever you needed for the writing the JUnit, this is the section number 2, writing the test, okay? Writing the test, just click here and you find all the required things already we cover, right? But again, just repetition, please read this documentation if you want to write the unit test. What are the way to write the test, right? So this is
hmm,
basic. Only one section is required for the whole documentation to you, not the complete, but only one point number 2, writing test. They cover almost the basic things what you needed. Okay. So
right,
already we have covered basic things. If you want to test your calculator, you write one test classes and just which method you want to test, like add method, and what the input and what the output you are expecting, right? And
right,
just write those code in the method and just add the one annotation, test annotation. This test annotation means now you can run this class and this test is going to run, right?
right,
So as of now, very good and okay. And basic annotations we have learned. Add the test for the testing your code, testing your method, and similarly we have understand your method can take some different kind of input. So you have to go into the parameterized test, means your test your method taking some input, like, right? And
right,
similarly repeated test. These are the things generally we are using, which I show some example, right? And lots of other things we have. Sometime you want your test class execution particular order, a particular method should be in order. So lots of things they have, we have discussed about the before each, after all, before all, right? After all, and disable timeout means you can, whenever you are going to test your particular business logic, different scenario we have to test. So for almost all kind of scenario, they have given different annotations depend upon your use case you are going to use, right? Is it okay?
yeah,
Till now we have covered all these things, right?
yeah,
So we are not going to again cover each and everything, but just a recommendation. If you want to write the unit test, please refer this official document. If you Google, lots of unit test related content you available. All the contents, someone first read this document and written his blog, written his website, created the YouTube, right? So good options. Please read this original documentation, and once you read, after that look each and everything. And Good part here is that whenever you are writing unit tests, and this is the unit test is the one kind of framework, and they support to integrate other unit test case framework. Like here, good example, दिखें. Notice here, this is the say third party assertion library. Means now, if I am using the unit the writing the JUnit test cases, here JUnit not the only one way to write the test case, right? Multiple way. JUnit just for Java framework, right? Java framework to write the test case, right? Similarly, some other library, third party means ki some other library already written some code that help us to write the unit test cases, right? Like here, example, they give me assert J is the third party library. Ham, Hamcrest is another library. Truth is another library. If some developer want to either say Hamcrest is a library, third party library, so they can integrate in our JUnit application. JUnit application, you can include any third party library. So today we are going to understand how some library we are going to use, right? So this is the very very important things. Unit test applications not use the one only the things provided by unit test documentation. You can use any third party means different library, different vendor. Might be some library with some good things, some library with some another good point. You can choose good point from the different library and you can use in your JUnit application. Good example. Let's example. This is the example here given. Sometime I want to use this is the Hamcrest is the one of the third party library, and they say ki this is the functionality like you want to say this is the one method subtract and say is equal 3. In this ways I want to test assert that, and this is the my actual method call, and is equal to. So these are the method is equal to. These methods are provided by this Hamcrest API. Like assert that method is not available in our JUnit. Something like I want to assertion, not this. Previously, whatever you test, assert equal, assert not null, right? Similarly, I want to assert that something. So this kind of a method like assert that is equal. If you want to test, how do you have to integrate some third-party library because by default JUnit not support, right? Is it clear? So let's think
Yeah.
how any third party library, for example, this one, I am going to support. Okay, I'm to test. So how to do? If you go and try to import this section, let's say I'm going to assert that. If my code base, I am going and I am going to just import this section. Okay. So notice here compiler say, I'm not understand where this library, right? So we have to take help from the Maven repository. Hey, say Maven, I need this third-party library because I want to use this code. I want to use these packages, right? I want to use these packages like assert and is equal something. I want to write some test cases. So I'll do. So Google again say, hey, go to the directory Maven and say I need the Hamcrest bundle. This is the basic Maven repository. Go here and just take these are the all the Maven repository. That's Hamcrest all. You can select this and what is the latest version 1.3 and just use this dependency and go in your pom.xml and good part this Maven support you can add any number of dependencies in your application, right? And here I'm going to just add one more dependency, right?
Right.
And this is done and just refresh them so that this dependency can be our application IntelliJ download from this Maven repository, right? And once this done and go to the test class and notice now this package is recognized by your application, right?
Right.
So let's go to write one example. Okay, how this package help us, right? So let's I am going to write a one test at the rate test and void. I want to just test maybe uh, test maybe one. Any test name can give, right? So here say test one, and here what I want to test. I want to going to use this utility like assert that. Before what happen? I say generally say uh, 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 assert equal and say ki, hey, this is the my output. I want to expected a 5, uh, and if where is my cursor? Oh, yeah, 5 and comma say, hey, calculator class, I want to check your add method take a two input parameter 4 and 1. So this is the way we know, this is the way we are testing, right? You can good, this works fine, but sometime I want to check assert. These are the Hamcrest given some easy assertion API. So notice this test case just run only one test case. If you want to only one test case, run only one. If you want to all, then run complete class, right? So notice this test one run path. This is good, but sometime I don't like this way. I want to that, assert that. So this API come from the assert that come from the your Hamcrest API. And here say this Hamcrest API have a different input parameter, something. Okay. So let's check what they want, right? So these are different overlays, the region, actual, and matcher. So here I have a something kind of a, you can say matching something. If match is, if else throw something. So notice here they have usually like a your actual value which you want. So here I want to test like the same way. I want to test this method. I want to test my, this is the method. Sorry. I want to say calculator dot just add. I want to 2 comma 3. And here second parameter say, here say you can is equal 3. This is the answer. Say ki add 2 3 is equal to 5. More readable, right? Say is is. So notice there is no any is kind of a method available. So how to say is method, you can come from the core matcher API. So here say, hey, is method needs go core, which is the core matcher API. Core matcher. The core matcher dot you write the is. Now notice this is method available. Is method and say here I want which is equal to 3 or is equal to 5. Say here equal to. So whenever write this way, by default, IntelliJ or someone read the class name. So this class name I want to only is not this class name here. So this is the static method. Notice the is a static method of this class. Static method. The static method we know already can import as a like this class. So here say click here and you have option like here IntelliJ give option. Hey, import static. So notice this is import static come on the top here, right? Static here imported, right? And here you can directly use equal. Similarly, say now I want to equals method. So notice this is the equal to core here equal to, and now like a 5. So look like the same test you are reading like there. Calculate add 235 is equal to 5, right? So this is more readable than this one, right? I am passing calculator 2 and 3 is equal to 5 because plus means 2, 3, 5 should be. In this way, also you can write some more user friendly your assertion. So Hamcrest is the API which say you can write more readable assertion, right? So my intention is that here this API, like a third party API, they assert something anyone you can use, and whatever the third party API given the good things you can use them, right? Till now any confusion how we are going to use the third party library in our JUnit application? You can simply download the dependency, add in your pom.xml, and just refresh them this build, it's done. And after that you can just go your test classes and going to use those API, right? Till now any confusion?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is the one. So here I'm not going to cover each and everything, but lots of steps documentation here mentioned. Just you read them and do it. But this is the very useful information, and all is you can say needed depend upon your kind of a method. So notice here we have a lots of things here. This is the one parameter order. Order means ki I want. Let us example here. Notice here this written test one. Then I written test this. You want this test cases must be executed in particular order. Notice I run these classes. They are running in the same order which I am written, right? Notice this is the written in a different order, right? This is an order. Okay, I want this test one always run the first, then this, then this, then this. You want
Right.
ensure some order of execution. So by default you notice they are printing in many different order, right? Sometimes they
Right.
are printing this method then this method, but sometime I want to know our test must some order. So you can use this order annotation.
Right.
Here you're not paying any, just use this annotation. So I want this should be run on the first, right? So you say order, and here it first, right? And so this order annotation only work if you say कि this class have maintain the order. So here you can also made one more annotation mention here, test method order, right? So here say hey annotation test method order, and here say order annotation does class order annotation dot class. The one if you write this annotation, so now first always run this test, and after that I want to run this test add. So this is the two order remains in. So always first test run this math test and then this run, right? And this is the way. Let's test it. So sometime you want your test method execution maybe some order. So notice here first always test one and then add a right?
Right.
You can give any number of ordering which you want, because for writing in a one class multiple test cases you are writing sometime want this test case run first then this then this then this, right?
Right.
So this help us order help us to do ordering, right? It's good. Similarly we
Yeah.
have a class order. If a multiple classes you want to pass which class run, maybe you have a nested classes, the nested classes which we want, the multiple things they have a depend annotation available, you can say. Just you can use. Till now I have not covered like a nested annotation. Yes, sometime notice in the we have no one class can contain another class, right? This is the like test class, and can contain this is the another test class, another class, annotation class. One
Right.
class can contain another class, that class can contain another class. This is nested classes. The nested annotation also we have. Sometime you're writing test cases, we can use them, right? So G unit given all kind of possible things where some developer want to test our code, right? So
Right.
due to that, they have a exhaustive documentation available. Each developer, each
Hello?
business logic, each kind of different context, different situation they want to test. Due to that, there are leads, lots of annotation we have. Just we have to use them, right? It's good. And
Yeah.
mostly, we in the regular test cases, generally, mostly we are using this parameterized test or the simple test. So for a parameterized test, already I given you, you can just pass parameterize and this is set a value, right? And in
Right.
last classes we can did parameterized test, and this source value can be directly value, or you can say directly maybe some integer value, float value, double value, right? Here you can write. Okay.
Right.
So parameterized tests have a these are the mostly in our application also we are using, and so because sometime I want to test particular method, they take a different argument, right?
Right. Right.
Due to that, this parameterized tests have a lots of option. This value can be comma separated. This value can be list. This value can be annotation. This value can be enum value. So notice they have a lots of given example here parameterized test.
Right.
And This one thing, let's parameterize test with the method. Sometime let us example uh, here one more test. So here, hey, I want to uh, parameterize test, okay, and let's go to the calculator, and here just added one more method like public and return integer power function, okay, power of, okay, power function. It will take power of 2, okay, power of let's say 2. So this is the power of 2 function. Whatever the number pass here, okay, a pass, and they return the a. So what do you mean power of 2? Means you have written some business logic, right? Maybe simple business logic, maybe for loop, integer i, equal to 1, I less than equal to your a, right? And
Right.
here I plus plus. Here you can use whatever the business logic you can use, already existing method, power class, math class, have a function. You can use right those way, right? Or this is the one method. Simply say, hey, I am going to just calculate the power of 2 means 2 multiplied by 1. 2. Let's keep power of function means I say here 2 k power 5, right? Here. So what the meaning here? 2 k power 5 means we are going to apply 2 multiply by 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 2, right? 5 times, right?
Right.
So this is the power of function. So you can say 2 multiply loop 5 times and multiply by 2 multiply by 2, right? So
Right.
core way like using a for loop, stream API, math function already exists. Whatever code you want to write, okay? Just say power function equal, let's start, and you say uh, let's start here say power equal to whatever the power uh, 2 multiply by, right, 2 multiply by 2 multiply by whatever the p multiply by 2, right? In this way
Right.
you can use, means multiply by initially 2, start from the 2, okay, and then start from the uh, here till whatever the 1 2, 1 means one time, 2 time, 3 time, something. Oh, I missing I plus plus, okay.
Yeah.
So in this way here say I return the p, right? This is the power function. So whatever you return, you can return. Or simply someone say, hey, I already know the math function. Say, hey, math class dot power function. You can use, just pass the two number, uh, power of 2 equal to whatever the number you can, right? A. In this way you can directly write the code, right?
Right.
Power should be here, say math API say double. So you can say here I need a double, right? So power of 2 means key 2 and whatever number you want. So you can write manually code, or you can just use API, right? Whatever you want. Okay.
Right.
So these are the things. Maybe let's say I'm going to return. I'm not going to use the math API. I'm going to return my own code, right? I'm math API return the power for the double. I want to integer, right? So let's say I want to integer, right? So
Yeah.
in this way, whatever the business logic you want to write here, and I want to return your p, right? Okay. You can do anything, right? So what the intention here? I am just let's key here you pass like 3, right? So what happened here? 3 means you are run loop from 1 to 3. For 1 to 3 means here say p equal to p initial value 2. You can say 2 multiplied by 2, right? This become a 4, right? For next time condition still I plus plus. This is the I equal to 1. Then next time again say this is value 4. 4 multiplied by 2 again. This condition again true. This will become 8, right? 8 multiply against it 2, return the 16, right? So in this
Right.
way 2k power 1 2 3 times you are running the equal to 1 2 3 loop, right? So what are the business logic you written, you can write next. I am going to test them. So I am going to test from the not the main method. Let's test from this our test method. Say here say parameterize test I want to test, and say void and test power, okay, and here say I need one input variable, right? Input variable, okay, a, and here say uh, assert, you have a equals, I want to equals assert equal, and let's key 2 k power 4, I want to let's 4, here output should be 4, and here our calculated function have a power function, and I power of 2, and I pass the 2. Okay, okay, this is the okay. So here you have to question ki where my a input I pass here, right? Here I want to pass the a, right? Should be a, right? What is the value of a? So here I manually through option. I'm not writing anything here, right? This is I'm not writing anything, and even I'm not writing parameters. Basic way I just test. So I'm test. I'm say here you have to pass some hard code table. Let's give on to two. The two to the four. This should become like a four, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, here we have to manually pass something here 2, 3, 4, 5 something, right? So notice these are the failing. They are we are expecting 4, they are returning 8, right?
Yeah.
Why? Why they returning? Because we are running from 1 to equal to, right? So let's think this should return to if I pass 2 power of 2, what would be 2 to the
4.
4. Again, whatever the output, again say 2 to the 4. Here we are running this loop run 2 times, right? 1
Right.
and 2. They are running more extra. But our here, what are they? Again return multiply by 2. They returning the 4 to the 8. So that means our this business logic is not expected, right?
Right.
Due to that, I am writing this code. Sometime our test case say, hey, your business logic incorrect. Because our business logic say कि if I am passing the power of 2 function, I am passing 2, I am expecting it will be 4. That means your business logic written here, it's not good, right? So our
Mm-hmm.
test cases are responsible to find out the defect, find out the bug something, right? Not the test case
Right.
just for the writing something, but for some specific purpose, right? So
Right.
here,
Right.
notice this test case, our business logic say ki power of 2 means I am passing the 2 power of 2, what happened? Logically, as a mathematician, I know that 2 power 2, it be 4, right?
Right.
So what we do? So we have to go ahead. Here we have to fix it. I'm not run equal to just less than 1. I don't want to run 1 2 times because whatever they are passing a 2. So generally what happened? 2 k power multiply by 2 here. If you write 2 k power 2, how you calculate generally? That means you are going to undervalue 2 multiply by 2 times here. That means, and again here already calculated 2 1 times, and they
Right.
have a next time 2. Again, we are saying if equal to, then again you are into one more time here. This loop run more extra. So I'm going, no, no, this is a bug. I don't want to this way. And now again I fixed my issue. I fixed my issue, and let's again test my test cases, right?
Right.
Test cases fall, right? So maybe say, hey, let's test one more parameter. I want to test 2 k power 3, right? 2 k power 3. The 2 to the 4 to the, it should be 8, right?
Right.
It should return 8, right? So in this way, you pass manually value and checking all the value, right? So why this input cannot come from the different places, from the source? So this is the test is work always fine if you have a some fixed define of your input. But sometimes no, I want it should be parameterized something, right? So here say, hey,
Mm.
I'm not doing the test, I'm doing the parameterized test. Parameterized test means ki this value I don't want to pass hard coded. This would be come from somewhere. Here, parameterized, whenever you write parameterized test, you have to give the source value. So similarly, here our the objective multiple method we have cover the source value, like CSV we cover like a source value, like we have cover like a source value, right? Right?
Right.
At that source value, and here CSV value, value source. Here say this is the integer value. I say integer. I want to two value. So here say 2 comma 3, right? and here you just say this is the my input A, right? And here you pass A, and here you pass, just don't write the two time, right? They
Right.
test, okay, and say it's not equal to 0, not not equal, not equal, not equal should be 0, right? This is the test case I written. Always don't return a value. So now these test cases are not running. I'm only one time, but run any number of time, right? So these test cases are going to run for a multiple value of A, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here assertion you can put also, right? So I'm trying to say here, this is the one way you can pass your input for your test, right? But this is the look, same test cases are run for multiple value, right?
Right.
So here say, I'm not this power function are run by this. So this is the one way. Here say, I don't want from this way. We have a CSV option. CSV also we have a learn. So lots of option we have a one more option, like we have a some method that generates some value. So here say this is the test power method. I cannot pass anything. I cannot pass anything right here. And here simply say, let's say we have a one method generate the input, right? Like uh, void, maybe generate input, generate input, and here they simply return some, return maybe, return let's stream, we know stream, the stream of let's uh, number something, a stream of let's 2 comma 3 comma 7 comma 9, right? They generated, and they returns the stream of your integer, and this static okay. So this is the one method. I want this value should be my input here. So this say, hey, I have already one generated method. So I can say, hey, let's method source. So this is whenever method source, and here you can pass your method name. Like what is the method name? This is the your generate method. So here you can just pass this. So what happened? Now this A input come from this method, right? If you run, this is the take input from your 2, 3, 4 IJ and pass in this your test cases. Notice here they have passed 2, 3, 7, 9. So now your test cases are independent. Just whatever the input you want to change, this input you can pass here. This can be in the same class. This input can be anywhere, right? You can
Right.
say, hey, this is the method reference. This method generates some value, and for all value, you have to do the test cases, right? Sometime what happen if I just written method and I not pass this, simply say at that method and assertion. So in this case our compiler will fail because they are expecting something you pass here, right? So if
Right.
you this method you can generate not this way, again you can generate the same method in the same name, you say this function. The by default uh, method source say, if I'm not, you cannot pass anything here, that means I'm going to find in another method the same name they like this way. In this way it's also work, right? So sometime
Right.
if you miss something here, giving the name, that times our JUnit going to find out the same method name for the generated value that returns some value, right? And if you run, it works. So we have both option. You can use the any method name or you can use the same method name, right? Notice this work 2, 3, 7, 9, 22 input, right? This is the year
Right.
22, right? So here they're saying it means your method source can be default means same, this is the class name same as a method name here. The same method name you can generate the default value whatever you want, right?
Mhm.
Similarly, yeah, you want to here say method name range, that means range is the method name, this is the range is the method name, right? They are generating some random number, right?
Right.
Here you can also is int string any string, right? So here parameterized methods, lots of example given here. Even you can say this method take a 2 input parameter, a 3 input parameter. How will do, right? So let us test here, like parameterized test, and I want to void test add with the two input, right? Add method require two input, right? With
Yeah.
two input, okay, input, and here say, hey, assert equal to, and I want input A, input B, and your result C, right? So this is the result I want to, maybe good option, expected value, okay, expected value, and here say expected value and comma calculator dot add I pass x input and y input, right? So here I this method take a two input parameter. If one input parameter, surely you return the one value, right here, or you can pass maybe like here, instead of this you can pass like a value source, right? And
Right.
value source here say int, right? Here say 2 comma 4 comma 5. This is way one way, right? So by default this value come as a one parameter, it's work fine. But what happen, your method take a two parameter input, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, any number of, right? So last classes we can take, you can either CSV, multiple value you can pass, or I want to some method. Here say, hey, I have written some method that return value. So here say, hey, I am using the method source. And method source, which method? Say here, let's give me the some method name. So here say I'm going to write uh, add inputs, add to input to input generator, two inputs generator, two inputs generator. Okay, this is the method. Okay, so this
Yeah.
method I am going to pass here. So here say, hey, this is a method. They are generating two inputs. Okay, the question, how we can generate two inputs, because they have what, two integer, and instead of two integer and three output you want. So here you want something return. So by default you have a multiple option here. You can write your own class that take a two three input. Okay, like we can know ki record is the one way, record is the one class. Here say ki add input. Okay, add input, and here say ki I can say integer x, integer y, and let's integer expected, right? And here say you
Right.
can say, here say I am going to return the add input object. Here say, hey, I am going to return the maybe stream of a list of add input, and here say return uh, li- a list of, and here pass list of value like a new add input.
Right.
Add input you can pass like I pass 1 comma 2, 1 2 should be answer 3, right?
Right.
So here you can say list of data I have, means this is the one data, similarly comma another data you can say add. Okay, so here let's 2 2 should be 4. Okay, and here should be like a 3 2, 3 2, it should be 5, right? So here you can generate data and just smooth it. So this is the way what we are saying, hey, this is the add method, I am returning this list of input, you can apply here, right? And let's test. In this way, you can first write one class that support the three input variable, right? And you can pass here. They input pass here. So let's test it's work or not. So this is the you can say list of value, means ki one input, two input, three input you can pass here. Notice they are failing because here our code don't know about, they need the three value. You are passing the list of uh, what, list of new object, because you have a three value you can not pass array.
Right.
So here surely this does not works. So for this situation we have a two fix, or we can use this JUnit framework, or you can change this input. So how can change, let's fix this issue. And then instead of saying hey I am not passing this object, I am passing my, this is the my input, they have a three value, instead of this I can say hey this is the my input, this is the my input, add input, and Let's add input, and here say add input dot your expected value here, and here say this is your value a dot your x value, right? And here say this is the a dot your y value, because this is the your object. Then you can pass, hey, this is my expected value, this is my this value, this is my this value, and test them. Okay, and now test it. So one way, if you have a multiple parameter, you can write your class and pass some different value, and this way, notice again what say, what saying this method java data list must be static. Okay, whenever good option, this method always keep it static, right? Generator class should be not in state, match should be static, right? So this is the way, notice our test class is run for different input, right? One,
Right.
two should be three, and all other pass. Let's see, someone say, hey, someone say it should be like 51, that this test case must be fail something, right? Because they are not match the add method. So this is the one way to notice this is the fail test case, right? So another way, no, this is the one way. You can write one class, and then define the value, right? This is the one way, right?
Right.
Instead of for different input, different classes we have to generate, right? So this is for J unit say, ki, hey, I'm given one already class. If you want, don't create a new your class or record. You can use my class. So for this, hey, they given the one class arguments. So number of argument, one argument, two argument, three argument, any number of things you can pass. Okay. So let's do the same scenario with the existing JUnit class. So here say I'm going to write the same test cases. Okay. Here same test cases, and here I am going to say again same integer x comma integer y and comma integer z, right? And here say it should be z, it should be x directly, right? X, it should be y. Okay, and here I am going to uh, as to input via argument class, via argument. Argument class is already given by JUnit, right? Now
Right.
arguments. Okay, so here you can write the one static method that return, you can say list of or stream of, both are the same thing. So arguments. So this is the arguments. This is the argument provided by the, not I am writing new class. Here notice, here I am writing the new add input class, right? Means interface.
Right.
Here I am going to existing, and here say generate same method name like here, right? This one, okay? And here say return stream of. So you notice, if you are writing here, writing the list of, you have the list of. Similarly, you want to stream, then stream of, right? And here is stream of arguments. So notice, be careful, look. This is the argument is the interface. They have a one method arguments. This method you can call them arguments, and they have a, notice here, object bar dot. This means ki variable argument. In this method you can pass any number of argument, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the object. Here can pass integer, here you can pass a string, here you can pass list, anything you can pass, right? So here, good option. Here you can say, hey, I am going to use the arguments, arguments, and here arguments I can pass first argument 1, second argument 2, third argument 3, right? This is the one way, right? And similarly, and here you can say, hey, it should be static import. You can say static import. This is the argument. So here you can add some multiple value, and here let's 2. Here should be 3. Here should be 5. Here should be 4, right?
Right.
So in this way, I am not writing the new class, just using the, so notice, good option 1, 2, 3. They are matched to the 1, 2, 3. And let's test this class, right? This is the one, already one written, okay? By argument class. Already, this is the one. Run it. So sometime your method take input and different combinations of input. Notice they have a 1, 2, 3 all are pass. So notice here I am not going to the change anything. The argument dot x this class name dot x, and by default JUnit framework say just use the arguments, and whatever the argument you pass here you can pass. Let's keep this parameter. Let's return the some list. Okay, a list of value, like a list of integer something, right? Integer, and let's key ls, right? So this method takes the input. So here you can pass, hey, this method is taking one argument, two argument, three argument, four argument. So here you can pass the four argument. What four argument? This is the list of value. You can pass list. So depend upon the this signature. Similarly, different value here pass, right? Here you can
Right.
pass list. Say a list of maybe 1 comma 2, right? Any value you can pass. So this list here you can pass. Here you can pass. Here you can pass, right?
Right.
So, in our test case, this not required list, just let's print out, okay? List. The for each test cases, you are printing the s out list. So I'm trying to say कि this argument is a very generic. Here you can pass list, maybe string, maybe anything. Let's say अगर आप next parameter something is string, right? You can pass
Right.
name or something, right? Name something. Sorry. Here say this should be some other parameter string name, right? Okay,
Right.
name. So here say plus name equal to plus name, right? So here I'm trying to say here can pass any name. Let's say test one, right? Given some name, right? Okay. Here test two. This is the test three, right? So notice here I am trying to communicate this argument is the interface, and they have defined one argument static method. They can accept any number of argument, one argument, two argument, three argument, any number of argument. Your test cases is run for all kind of argument. So if your test method need a two input, you can write the two, three, three, four, four, five, five. Notice they are run for all. Notice this is the test one.
Right.
Okay, this is the one for test one receive. This is the test three. This is the test three, right?
Right.
So this generic class arguments already provided by your JUnit frameworks. Just use. Don't write new classes like here. I return one new input for the two variable. So here I writing a two variable, three variable. If you want to again more variable, you have to write the new classes, right? So you
Otherwise,
can.
we use the generic.
We use the generics. This is a generic method. This is the argument is a very generic method. They take a variable argument one, two, three, four, any number of, right?
Hmm.
So here our depend upon the test case method. Sometime our method like a three input, four argument, five argument. So you have to use this argument to provide the parameterized test cases, right? So
Right.
parameterized test have a lots of permutation combinations option. And notice this code can be in the separate classes, right? New classes. It works. Not maybe this is the separate class you write something, okay? And it works. Okay.
Okay, so we can write in a separate class.
Let's I am here comment out and written in the separate class here. Say, hey, class test data generator. Okay, okay, maybe okay. This is data generator.
Right.
In this set, I can write this method. So still, this can be used by our unit. Question is now, if you run currently this test case is failed because they not found this method. Where is it? Now notice by default IntelliJ help us. He is not able to find this code, right? Cannot resolve
Right.
this variable. If you run, it will fail because now this not available in this current class, right? So something you
Right.
have to mention. Hey, this method is not available. Notice this method is not found, right? Cannot
Right.
found the factory method like this. So how to fix this? Somehow here we have to mention. So this class can be anywhere, right? This class can be you written here. This class can be anywhere. So you can say, hey, this is the class name. Go to the here. Hey, say this is the class name. This is the class name, and you can say has your method name. Okay, this is the
Oh, okay.
method name.
Okay.
This is the class name, and this class name which package? Maybe different package. So okay, this class I am written in the same package. You can say this is the package name. So here you can say, hey, This is the package name, and this is our class name, and this is the method name. So here you can specify the complete package and your method name. Now it's recognized and run this test. It's test run.
Oh, so that's how you use external class,
Yes.
like a
Notice
additional class.
this. Yeah, this is running. So in
Mm.
this way, JUnit given ki your input data can be same class, maybe different class, anywhere, right?
Mm.
So lots of technique they have given here, right? Just depend upon our use case, right? Like
Lots
mention
of
here,
technique.
same thing I
Lots
explained.
of
This is the
technique. Yeah.
class name, your method name, and your method name here. You can do, right?
Right.
Notice here, this is a separate class, and this is separate class, and they given something, right?
Right.
It's a good lots of things like here regular expression, lots of things here. I'm not going to cover each and everything, and most probably parameterized test used for the sometime you are using generally in our application you are using this concept like a method factory method concept, and sometimes notice this is the actual name, this is the factory method means they are generating some data to you, right?
Right.
And many times we are in the CSV. In this example I will given you, you can pass the parameter test as a CSV value, right? Okay, so these are the mostly you can say we are using the same parameterized testlets as a not this as a at the rate comma separated value. So these are the two you can say most familiar way you can say. We have already covered at this, I think started CSV value like this, right? Here you can pass the all the value, right? And it
Right.
works, right? So here let's close it, and just for refresh, generally you can say hey CSV value, and you can just a CSV value. Our method take a three input parameter, right? So here say by a CSV comma separated value, right? And here say 2 4 it should be 6, right? And here 8 9 it should be 70, right? So if you
Right.
run this test case is going to run against the three input one, input two, input three. So here you have to some kind of assumption, right? And here you can run. So in CSV have a limited kind of something list or something you want to pass. That time our test method is more you can able to run, right? So you can say in the here you want to pass the some list of value, a list of name, and different argument. So here we have some kind of a complexity because this is the method kind of things. We can easily generate the method, right?
Right.
So these are a code like these are the more generic than the CSV. Here you have write a list, here observe custom object, anything you can pass, any number of argument you can pass, right?
Right.
So these are the most used you can say. I can say all the things, but generally these are the very things you should know. Our JUnit support to test different kind of input of your method, right? Maybe
But this
parameter is
example, these are the most used this type.
mostly used, yeah. Okay, but
Right.
different case, different situations, all other things also used. I'm not saying this is a different scenario situation we are living. The parameterized test, repeat test, factory test, many places we are using, but lots of documentation. Surely we cannot cover each and everything, right?
Right. Right. It's going to take, yeah, long time. Yeah.
Like, and even you can write your own generator, even you can write your own argument generator here, say you can write a custom classes like something you can do everything, right?
Right. Right.
So it's good. Till now
Yeah.
any confusion, any doubt? We have covered almost same like last classes, but we also cover we can integrate uh, something more like some third party library. Here is method, equal method, greater than method. This have a lots of classes method you can go and use. Here notice they have a lots of method, not equal to, not null, same, start with, same instance, lots of everything, any of, lots of utility method this class given.
Right.
So Hamcrest is also very useful API, and we are not cover more class in test case example, but they have given lots of easy way to read assertion, like assert that this and this is equal to this, is greater than, is less than, is match, is not match, right? All
Right.
the things basic utility they are given here. The JUnit
Mm,
have a basic functionality, you can say. Hamcrest have a added more readable assertion for us.
right.
Okay. So till now, any confusion, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So let's do practice, and we'll continue. What I'm thinking for today to cover, those are still not cover. We're going to cover the next classes, right?
Oh, okay, okay. I see. Oh, so there are some other material on this.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like here we have added one more dependency. Similarly, we are going to add one more dependency, which we'll talk tomorrow, right? And that was also very important, and many applications that was used.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. That would be a very good note for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here our objective, means we are using the JUnit. That means not just we are using the JUnit jars. We can use the different library. And similarly, today we consider the third party Hammock, Hamcrest. Similarly, tomorrow we're going to understand one of the most popular library for the JUnits is the Makito. Okay. That
Hmm.
maybe today at times so go read out. Tomorrow we're going to consider the next classes Makito. This is also, you must to know what is the Makito and how we are going to use. And today I'm going to write some test cases, some classes, so that you feel familiar, right? And
As a framework. Okay.
okay, it's good for the day. And because
Yeah.
now it's not time for me to start those things new, because lots of things we have to talk about that, right? Why we are going to use, what the purpose, right?
Right.
But that is our next class, would be, right? Good for the day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.